Howdy, 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 everybody, and welcome to the GTR SimSport Race for the Kids. This is a charity race for Toys for Tots. I'm Austin. I am joined by Brad Collect. We are here at wonderful Sebring International Raceway. The F3 cars and Skippy cars are going around the track right now. Brad, how you feeling?
Yeah, hi Austin, hi everybody. Thanks for tuning in, and yeah, feeling good. Bright and early in the morning here where I am, but it's looking like a nice day at Sebring for the drivers. But they're gonna be rattling those fillings out of their teeth if they have any over the bumps here in these open wheel cars today.
Yeah, it's a very interesting combination here right now. It's a combination of Formula 3 and Skip Barber racing cars. And it's a weird combination, but it's something we've all wanted to do. And in this charity race, like, gloves are off. Why not try it? Um, the guys in the practice session, they've been very, very good with each other. And they really haven't been causing any trouble. They've been racing around each other very nicely. We have 19 drivers in this session, and all of them, I believe we have four Skip Barbers in the session, and out of the field of 15 F3 cars. So these guys are going to be acting like a little bit of wild cards for 90 minutes.
Yeah, it should be fun, and we've got a good range of experience in the drivers. Looking at the I rating in the session as well, which should make things interesting, and hopefully they'll put on a good show. Obviously, we want to see a good race, but the main reason we're here is to support Toys for Tots. So hopefully everyone can get behind it and hit up the link in the video description.
Yeah, you're probably wondering,
Yeah.
what is Toys for Tots? I know you didn't know exactly a lot about it, but I do know exactly a lot about it because I actually helped with them for a little bit when I was younger. Toys for Tots is a program to give toys to underprivileged kids. It was really started by military, but then they stopped doing that, but we've kept it on going, and it's very nice. And to encourage y'all to donate to Toys for Tots using that link, every donation you do is a entry into a raffle to give you your very own custom Apex button box. You are also on this stream right here, and the winner of that Apex button box will be announced at the very end of the race. So stay tuned, donate if you want to, and somebody might be walking out here with a new Apex button box.
Cool. That's I wasn't aware of that. That's a nice offering from those guys. So I'm sure someone will be super happy at the end of the stream.
Yeah,
Just about.
also, I put my name in there. Um, just full disclosure, I put my name in there. If it says my name, I'm not accepting it. But yeah, we're currently in qualifying at the very end of it, in the last 30 seconds. So let's take a look at what the timing tower says right now. We got Andrew Carey currently sitting on provisional pole, and we have Von Glace following up in P2.
Yeah, not too much between them at the moment. It's only a couple tenths, I believe. Because these things are bouncing around turn one there. Minutes are.
Yeah, Sebring is full of bumps and other hops and dips and dodges and all that stuff as qualifying is coming to an end right now. And Von Glantz racing for RSR Esports. A lot of esports teams from the old charity race that we had back in November. That one was for mental health awareness. These guys over at GTR Simulators formerly known as One Sim, they always just like helping out the community, and this is a great group of guys they have going on right now.
Guys, just finishing off the last laps here.
Yeah, Vaughn Glance and Ted Lundwick. As Vaughn gets a big ol' slide.
Yeah, that was an aggressive turning there. A little bit too much for even the V7 tire.
And he's gonna pull himself into the wall. As Ted,
So,
who is in the it's the two skippies that are left out there right now.
yeah, he's might be having a coffee while he's going down the backstretch there. Takes a little while in the skippy.
Yeah, it takes a little while, but can you just imagine when the F3 field gets to these cars?
Yeah, it should provide some interest having a few of those skippies out there to for the F3 guys to cut through.
Yeah, Ted's currently sitting in P2 in the skippies, comes across the line, and he takes pole actually in the Skip Barber field. And I believe that is our qualifying grid finished up right now. We do have Jean Macchioni up in the F3 car for Wolfpack Esports. You'll notice some things about the liveries for today's race. They're very themed up around the charity. So I know the Wolfpack car has a bunch of Christmas presents on the side of their car. And some of the Wolfpacks have Santa hats on them. And John does not get his lap in as we are heading on to the race for the grid. So if it'd be nice, let's read through the front row.
So here we go. We've got Andrew Curran lining up on pole with Vaughn Glace beside him. Second row, we've got Kenny Rodriguez and Jeffrey Fisher, followed by James D. Miller and John Macchioni. David Flanagan and James Pooh round out the fourth row. We've got James Steffi and Daniel Newell, Curtis Kenyon, Jeff Carollo, Randy Post, and Ted Lowendick, followed by Stacey Dunnigan, Brandon Majeski, Eric Luke, Andrew Hewson, and Louis De La Luz. Round out the field. The grey cars there are the skippies, and the yellow indicators are the F3s.
Yeah, there's a little bit of problem with the yellow cars should all be the F3s. There's a little bit of a glitch with Andrew's car. It's saying that he's driving an F3, but he's really driving a Skippy. I think he joined the session as an F3 driver, then reverted back to a Skippy. But we'll see while that goes on right now, as I believe it's a rolling start here, or a standing start. But the tension is getting higher right now, as Andrew Karen is sitting at the front of the field here at Sebring, getting ready to go green for the race for the kids. It is a standing start. The lights are coming on, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. We already have a false start from one of the Wolfpack cars, and we're going green, green, green.
Someone a little bit eager at the back there to get this one underway. But here we go into turn one, and
Vaughn Glance already getting a overtake, but Andrew Karen spins around, and there's contact all over the place. Cars flying all around. That started off with Andrew Karen. James Pooh was in there. Who was not involved in there? As the track map just shows cars just everywhere. Sitting at the front is David Flanagan, as craziness has struck this field.
Yeah, that was looked like the start of a Formula Fun race from last season. Wasn't expecting that at the start of a 90-minute race. So
Randy Post was off the track as well. But yeah, chaos here at Sebring. You would think these guys would take it very easy in front of a 90-minute race, but sometimes these guys just gotta send it.
So a few guys with damage towed back to the lane. Looks like a couple of them are heading around. Do we have fast repairs for?
Yes, we do have fast repairs.
Very good. So those drivers will be able to get back out on track shortly.
Yeah, you would assume with a chaotic combination as Skippies and F3s, there would be fast repairs, and there is. As whoa, that is Curtis Kenyon.
Very wide on the.
Oh no, Curtis! He gets back onto the track and his car spins around. He's got to let
He
off.
lost it on the exit of Le Mans and went way out onto the exit there, and unfortunately, it looks like he got back on the gas just a little bit too early before the rear wheels were back on the pavement there.
Yeah, and he gets teleported back to the pits after taking a tow. That smiling face of his on our broadcast, he's certainly not smiling right there. Curtis is a good friend of mine, so I'm trying not to bully him that hard.
So the first crazy lap is done, and we've got Flanagan out front, followed by Rodriguez and Steffi. So these three managed to get through cleanly, and looks like they're doing similar pace here. So
yeah,
settle into a rhythm. Hopefully we'll have a good battle between them.
This is the battle for fourth in a class between Daniel Newell and Jeff Carroll. They're following the leaders right there. I believe they were just a little bit caught up in there. And let's actually ride on board with Jeff as we go through that craziness up at the front. This is Kenny Rogers. Let's see what happened to him.
I think Lace just got loose.
Lace got loose and
yeah, it was loose. Yeah.
Double overtake off the track to get back up there. John McEnroe was involved. I want to see what it looks like through Skippy's eyes. Yeah, we're on board with Andrew Houston right now, and I think things might get a little bit dirty.
Oh, yeah, we had a Skippy go around as well.
Skippy going around. Formula cars all over the place up at front. It just looks like a war zone, honestly. Yep, there's more F3 cars.
Both these cars on the newer time model, of course, it does take a few laps for these to get up to temperature. So a few drivers caught out on the cold tires through turn one. Standing start too, so not too much opportunity to warm them up before you get round to that bumpy first corner.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, Sim Racers TV, SRTV, for subscribing us on YouTube. Thank you for all your support. In and out as our battle for the lead between Flanagan and Rodriguez is closing in as Flanagan driving for SRT. Is closing in on Kenny Rodriguez driving for SRT as the SimCube car of David Flanagan is leading out.
Yeah, Steffi's just dropped off these guys a little bit during that pass lap, and looks like Flanagan's trying to put the pedal down and pull a bit of a gap from Rodriguez here, but he's doing well to keep him around that 1 second gap at the moment.
I believe we have a little bit of off track as David Newell saw a little bit of smoke coming off of him, and I believe his rear wing is wrapped up like a Christmas present.
Hopefully that's a lucky chum for him. You see the guys taking the really wide entry into Le Mans there. Try and get that run onto the straight, and see someone ahead just still swerving to warm their tires.
Ooh, that's Prost. Prost is in the post is in the wall. Post went into the wall. What's happened here? Did he just lose it on his own? So I saw somebody jump to the pits. So it's just... Oh, one of those bumps getting him.
Yeah, just got a little bit loose. Maybe just a touch too tight on the entry and makes it a bit harder to stop the car rotating there.
Yeah, this car's not the best 180-degree turning radius. Back to our fight for the lead. Rodriguez has closed in on Flanagan, and they're coming down into turn 3. Well, turn 4, really. Okay, really turn 5.
So yeah, down through the big bend and heading into the hairpin. Oh, no, not the hairpin. I'm lost, sorry.
They're at the very top of the track, coming up into the left-hander. They're behind John Macchione. Sebring's a track that's easy to get lost in.
There we go. Now we're coming down through Bishop, and they're running to Lamar.
Now coming down the back straight. Little bit of chaos might happen as they're lapping the first Skippy. And John Macchione saw him have that little bit of incident at the very start of this race. Wait, no, that's Curtis Kenyon, not John. These guys going around the final bend and down the front straight. We saw our first interaction with a Skippy. Not be that chaotic. Let's see what about the second one. And oh, we got a split them!
Oh.
And we got an overtake. Kenny Rodriguez overtook him on the inside, the SRT car. Oh. Let's get a look at that again. But on the roll bar of Kenny Rodriguez. What a move. From the
very opportunistic.
joint up the inside. David went around the outside. We'll go up the inside. What a move.
Be fun to see the onboard from the skip there.
Want to see the onboard from the skip? Let's try to find who that was. Ooh. Oh. Eventually.
That wasn't a healthy skip.
Ah, here it is. He had nowhere to go.
So back live, and we're with Flanagan, who's trying to get back up onto Rodriguez after that sort of failed move around the outside. It cost him the lead. These guys are pushing it on pretty hard. You can see that the attitude of the cars through the turns are trying to extract all the grip they can from these tyres. Houston just hold on. I've raced these cars a little bit myself, but I haven't done a 90-minute race in them, so we'll expect to see several stops for tyres during this one.
Yeah, they're also capped at 65% fuel. I believe this might be a 1 to 2 stop race. There is a little bit of fuel cap, and we're going to go from this battle at the front to the battle in the midfield for the battle for 10th between Vaughn Glantz and John Macchione.
Yeah, so Glace trying to recover after that spin at turn 1. And you can see the closing speed versus the skip there. It's quite a dramatic difference between the cars.
A little bit of a slide by John. He got a Skippy in front of him. Vaughn had to avoid him. John's not going to avoid him on the apex. Well, he's not going to be interrupted by him, and he slows down a lot on Vaughn.
Yeah, good little battle here. Macchione's made a bit of time there. He's closing up. Can see a different approach through that corner too. Looks like Glace just went in a touch too deep and just missed the apex a little.
So we're coming into the braking zone right now. John sending it as much as he can, a little bit too much.
Oh,
Saw that correction mid-corner. So we're looking back from his gearbox.
Looked like a bit of aero wash heading in on the entry there. Front end of the car just sliding across the track and just about half a car width from the apex. So these cars do get affected a little bit when you get sort of within that half a second behind the other car. You want to try and keep air on the front wing if you can for the turn in.
I think John's having just a little bit trouble following him, but somebody who's not having trouble following somebody is Andrew Kieran. He's in the fight for P8 right now as he's battling with James D. Miller, and they're having a drag race down the back straight. That was easy.
I think Miller, he might have damage.
Well, let's take a look at his car. I believe he does. Look at that front wing.
Yeah. So that'll be affecting his turn in and top speed as well.
Yeah, Miller was involved in that lap 1 incident. I think he jumped into P2 or P3 and then just lit up the back wheels. Very unfortunate for James D. Miller. He's going to get that fixed on his first pit stop. Back up front with Kenny Rodriguez.
Just got the guys in chat. So apparently Miller, he hit Lowendick in the skippy. That's what that front end damage was from. So hi to everyone in the chat. We've got a few people in there. Grandstand Video, Double Delta, Dritch56. So hi to those guys. Thanks for tuning in and filling us in.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, caught him right on the apex. It was a bit of an awkward spot to catch him, and a bit of a punt off the track there, unfortunately.
So that's where that came from. Very unfortunate for James D. Miller to come into there, but also it's very unfortunate for Ted as well. Looks like Mr. Flanagan has caught up to the leader as well as Jay.
Yeah, we're back to having these three cars.
Oh, no!
Oh!
Rodriguez has spun it out, and Flanagan is going to keep it full throttle off-roading, and Jay Steffi has overtaken for the lead.
Okay, well, these guys are certainly putting on a show. We've got one of the skippies almost getting off the road.
That was
in a terrified fashion.
Yeah, that's Luis De La Luz who was getting out of the way. But craziness as Jeff yeah, that's a lapped car as almost a takeout by that's not Jeff Carallo, is it? No, it's not, because Jeff's back there. Is that
that must be one of the
That's
cars
James Poo.
Lap down.
That's James. Yeah, it's James Poo, the number 8 car. He's down at P12. All right, well, let's see what happened right here with Kenny Rodriguez.
Oh,
Just a...
Wow, that was Flanagan in doing some rallycross action, and I can't believe he kept it off the...
That's right on board, Flanagan. Just... Murdered a cone right there.
And a few more.
And a few more, yeah. Oh my
wow, I can't
goodness.
believe he survived that. That was a wild ride.
That's right on board Jay Steffi, who got the lead from this incident. Stayed on track. And
Yeah. A couple of little lifts there. I think he was expecting Flanagan to just spear straight across the track in front of him off the bumps there, but fortunately that didn't happen, and they've all lived on.
Yeah, they all have craziness here up at the front in the F3 category.
So yeah, we've still got the 8 car of James Pooh there. Pew.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
This is a car of Brandon Majewski. And he's sitting down P7. What's happening right here? Did you just lose on a bump? Whoa, listed in the braking
on the
zone.
brakes. Yeah, as soon as he hit the brake, he might have that bias a little bit too far to the rear.
Yeah. Lovely, lovely holiday Toys for Tots themed Christmas car that he's got on, I must say. Oh, he's reading his list and checking it twice. That's a nice touch.
For those that may have just tuned in during the race, this is a charity event being run here today around Sebring, and the charity is Toys for Tots, hence some of the interesting liveries we've got out there. And the donation link for the charity is in the video description if you'd like to help those guys out at all, trying to provide some toys for underprivileged children heading into the festive season.
Also, donating to Toys for Tots and posting in the event's Discord will get you entered into a raffle for your own Apex button box.
So Newell trying to make a bit of a move on Fisher here. These guys scrapping it out for P5. And
Also,
you can
Karen
see
is
Karen.
joining.
Yeah, he's recovering from some earlier adventures.
Yeah.
Just looking at the lap times. Yeah, Karen significantly quicker on the last lap than these guys, so he's closed up quite rapidly on them.
Well, if you remember, Karen's put it onto the front row of the grid. And unfortunately spun the car around, and he's going up the inside right now. Going to try and move around the outside of Daniel Newell, but I think he's got him easily right there. Yes, he does.
And so for those that aren't aware of the time difference between the two classes today, we do have 4 skippies out there braving it amongst these Formula 3 cars.
Yeah, this is the current Skippy leader.
Skippies are circulating in around 2 minutes 30 to 2 minutes 31 thereabouts, and the F3s are the quicker guys are in the sort of 53 or 52, 53s at the moment. So there's quite a significant
It's basically
lap time difference.
Missiles coming at slow-moving trams. And the speed difference is greatly shown up on the straights.
Yeah, well, at almost 40-second difference, in lap time, it's going to show up everywhere, really. But yeah, definitely on the straights, it's very, very noticeable. Here we go, Fisher is trying to hang on to Karen, who's carved his way past the 2 drivers just in the last lap.
I can just see how bumpy this track is.
This is the closest battle we've got.
Yeah, we're gonna switch over to the leaders to show you what it looks like. We're gonna look at the onboard of Luis De La Luz. Show you what it looks like when the F3 cars come up on a Skippy. There they are. And there they go. It's kind of like what do you see up at the lead of what do you see at the lead of a Le Mans race with the LMP1 prototypes at a GT3. As James Pooh is just all over his teammate. He is a lap down, so I think he's just enjoying this.
Yeah, it looks like they're having a fun battle out there, even though it's not for position. But it's a long race. If he keeps turning some nice lap times, he could pick up a few positions yet. And we've got Houston there. That's Skippy. Thought he was going to run a little bit wide out into the wall there.
It's a
The
very
exit
scary
off.
exit. Yeah, that was Luis
The guys coming
Luz.
nice and close to the pit wall on the entry, and again at the apex, really close to the wall on the inside of turn 1 there, trying to avoid the harsher bumps. You'll probably see the
Uh-oh.
F3 cars taking quite a tight line through Sunset Bend as well, as the bumps are a little
Post went
harsher
off
when you get
again.
out wide.
What's happened to Post? So I'm having a little bit of trouble. That's... Oh, no! One of the Wolfpack cars got into him.
He looked like he wasn't quite confident through that section of the track there. Just
That was John Macchione.
a little slower at the apex, and then because he ran wide, a bit slower.
Oh, no
Oh,
word.
it did seem to slow quite a bit there. Yeah, that was an odd one. I don't think Marcioni was expecting that.
I don't think any of them were.
So, not sure. Maybe the other car spun it up a little bit on the exit.
Well, he's going into the pits, as we see our pit stop counter coming down on the bottom of the ticker. We'll see if any of our leaders take it. People will go in for the pit stop, actually.
23 minutes in. Not sure how long the fuel will last with their restriction they've got for this event, but the tyres will definitely start to feel a little worn now. I've been doing some races in these cars for around the hour length thereabouts, and by sort of 25 minutes thereabouts, that's where you start to really feel the tyres start to drop off a bit.
Yeah, tire drop-off is definitely going to be a big interest. We do have a battle for third between Andrew Karen and Kenny Rodriguez.
So yeah, Karen is still slowly, well, not slowly, but quite quickly marching his way forward after the adventures early on.
Urgently.
Rodriguez will. Oh, we've got a Skippy with no rear wing there.
That is Ted Lonedick, yeah.
Yeah, that's from that contact early.
As that's the leader, and oh no, I think Stacy got in a little bit of contact. Ooh, these F3 cars getting very crazy around the Skippy leader, and I think there might have been contact on the left rear. We saw the car jump up just a little bit. I don't think it was too much to cause a bit of an issue.
And looks like from Jonathan Platt in the chat, he's just pointed out that Randy Post looks like has become a retirement, unfortunately, with too much damage on his Dallara.
That's unfortunate for him. He's put in some good laps during practice, and I was actually looking forward to seeing almost everybody was saying that they're going to try to finish the races. Oh my goodness, Karen. Losing a lot of control going through that first turn, and he's still sliding all over the place. But keeping that car in check, and he's just wrangling the thing all over the place, trying to catch up to the leaders, who are 5 seconds ahead of him.
Yeah, it's a fun thing with this time model. It does allow the car to slide around a little bit. It was exaggerated somewhat earlier on, but they tweaked it, and it's a lot more realistic now. These cars do have a lot of downforce, but they're not super glued to the road. So if you watch slow-mo of a lot of open wheel cars, they are actually sliding almost all the time, just a little bit. So I think the model on these is quite accurate now. Maybe a few little tweaks to come yet, but they're yeah, a lot of fun to drive on this new NTM V7 tire.
Tried a little slow-mo action right there, but it's at the end of the corner. But yeah, these guys love to slide them. The Skippy cars are like super sliding. You ever seen those guys just put a car sideways?
Yeah, skinnier tires on them, so not as big a contact patch and not as much downforce pushing the car into the road either. So you really have to be sliding the Skippy most of the time to extract lap time out of it.
Yeah, Stacy, they did come into the pits after that incident. So they are now sitting in P2, and that is Andrew Houston right behind him. And let's check in with our biggest movers right now, and it's actually Brandon Malzweski sitting in P7.
Yeah, up 9 positions. So he's done well, and Jay Steffi out in the lead. He's up 8 from where he started to, so he can't improve any further. So yeah, good job from him. He kept the car straight through all that carnage and avoided a few near misses.
Yeah, the start of this race was absolutely insane from all these guys. You're just now joining us. We're gonna replay the start of this race for y'all, and let's get on it from Brandon Malzweski's point of view. Oh, is that a car taking flight?
Yeah, that was yeah, that was very sensible from Majewski there. He just took it nice and easy, got out of the throttle, just kept the thing rolling forward, and but slow enough that he could take avoiding action where he needed. Cars left and right, everywhere off the track.
Rewatch this one more time. Going at the front, Kenny Rodriguez got a little bit of a bump from the rear, but
oh,
is that a
couple of cars getting
it was
a lot of
Glance. That was Glance.
Yeah, Vaughn Glace.
Oh, he also took the lead around the outside of everybody. No, it was not him. Oh no, but then he lost it in the corner after that. I saw all that chaos in his rear view mirror. And he gets a big old ding from the 09 car, James D. Miller. That is unfortunate. And he just came out of the pit lane, I believe. As Andrew Caron is being caught up by David Flanagan.
Yeah, Flanagan's done well to stick with Caron. Oh no, Caron's just recently gone past because he was in P3 just before. So yeah, while we're watching those replays, I think Caron must have made a move to get into P2. He's starting to gap Flanagan reasonably quickly here. Got a 6.5 second gap to chase down Steffi out front. And here we go with this is Houston and Donegan separated by, as you can see, only a couple of car lengths heading into Le Mans. They've got a fast moving F3 car coming up on them as well.
They're going to get absolutely swept out here. Remember, Stacy, they had that little bit of a hit in their back wheel. We don't know if that's been causing them a little bit of discomfort. Let's right on board with Stacy right now as they're having a fight for second in class. As Ted Londick is in the pits, Stacy holding down that inside line. They're side by side. Andrew holding it around the outside. The F3 car going to hit Andrew right there. No track awareness by him, and Andrew's going to be very mad about that.
Well, I can't believe we didn't see a car into the wall.
Yeah, great save by both the cars, but also they're coming in on the leader of the Skippies. Ted just came out of the car, and oh no, that was Kenyon in the wall. That is unfortunate. Also, we got another car stopped up front. That's also James Pooh. See, he's having a little bit of bet rear wing.
Oh yeah, the rear of that car is not happy. So we're at about that half-hour mark, and the tires on the Dallara F3s will definitely not be feeling so good anymore.
Yeah, here's the battle for the Skippy cars. We haven't really shown much of these guys. That's all the action has been with the F3 guys, but gotta show our Skippies some love here. Ted Lodig and Stacy Dunnigan and Andrew Houston, 1, 2, and 3. Andrew got involved, was hit by a F3 car coming around the final corner, so he might be carrying a little bit of damage. Ted just freshly came out of the pits. Stacy also came out of the pits after getting involved in an incident with an F3 car. But this is... Oh, big ol' slide.
Lots of understeer on the entry there. Really struggling with that that car. Just all of a sudden, around that half-hour mark, the race has just kind of gone a little bit crazy with lots of traffic interchange and some battles for position. Steffi, who had that 6-second lead only a couple of laps ago, there's been some kind of incident for him because he has dropped 6 seconds off the lead with Karen now out in front.
Yeah, I believe we do have the replay of his incident right now, but we're going to keep that waiting right now as we got the battle for the lead in the Skippy class. Ted comes out of the draft, swinging on to the inside of the final corner here at Sebring. A big old drift and a big old save, and always turns it around and almost comes into the side of an F3 car.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's got suspension damage on the front of that car. He's having a lot of trouble on turning.
Well, he just came out of the pit lane last lap. It's just a Skippy new tires. He just came out of the pits.
Yeah, okay. He's definitely struggling with that car, particularly on turning.
This is
control the rotation.
Gonna go back to Jay Steffi right now and how he lost that lead. Oh,
just a harmless kind of.
And there goes Andrew.
Spin. He didn't hit anything, but delayed him enough that Andrew was able to come through and take the. So yeah, he'll be a little bit frustrated with that, but at least he didn't damage the car. And he's decided to come into the lane to take on some fuel, get some fresh rubber on that. Fisher follows him in, so we might be getting close to that the fuel limitation with the 65 litres that they've limited the cars to.
Yeah, 65% fuel tank, not 65 litres. Small detail is our F3 leader Andrew Karen back up to his pole position.
Yeah, and Newell's come down the lane as well, so we've got 3 of those guys in there, and Steffi and Fisher come out.
Yeah, remember, Mr. Karen, he went into the pit lane off of the start because he was involved in an incident. Not on lap 18 like these two are. And this is a 3-car battle for second place between Steffi, Fisher, and Rodriguez. Rodriguez went into the pits last lap.
So yeah, there's a few groups of cars that are kind of close to each other. And Flanagan has just popped into the lane as well, and Glace is in the lane too. So it looks like definitely hitting that sort of probably 34, 35 minute kind of fuel window of the F3 guys from the looks of it. So we'll definitely see them stop again for fuel in the race. I would assume they're going to take tyres as well while they do that, because they'd be feeling quite worn after about half an hour, and it is pretty quick to change tyres on these cars.
Yeah, Karen, he's still in the pits now. He actually just stopped right now, and I don't think he's just coming out of the exit right now. These guys coming around the final corner. This will be a good drag race to see how much time they're actually behind him. But Andrew is just leading by about 12 seconds when he came out of the pits, came into the pits, and that gap is dropped down to about 10.
Yeah, these guys would have gained a little bit having the fresh rubber a little bit early, so a little bit of undercut to bring that gap down.
It's a very interesting battle for second place between these guys. Let's ride on board with Kenny Rodriguez, who we've been on board with him a lot right now, but he's been so good at avoiding incidents and all that stuff. Like, how can you not run with this guy?
See the yeah, he's pretty happy with the front end of that car at the moment. Tires coming up to operating temperature pretty well, coming out of the tire warmers in the lane, hitting those apexes, getting it turned in nicely. Here as well.
Oh, he's getting a good run on Fisher.
Yeah, if you can get a nice run through here, a good exit from Lamar, you might be able to get
A little
some,
bit of a slide.
Yeah, a little bit deep in there. So lost a few tenths, unfortunately. Fisher's getting a little bit of a tow from Steffi out in front too. So around that 0.7, 0.8 mark is where you really start to feel it in these cars.
Yeah, they got a car in front of him. It's 10. Swerves into the middle of the track, and all of them are following the same suit. Ted's just sitting in the middle. This is a very aggressive trying to keep the toe. Fisher dived onto the other side of Ted and almost put my heart in my throat right there. Oh my goodness.
I'm not sure the Skippy driver there knew where to look.
Well, he did the right thing. He was off the line, and I'm guessing Steffi just decided, he's going to take the inside-outside line anyway, but was completely caught off guard on what was happening in that situation. Almost caused a massive incident, as there's the Skippy leader of Stacy Doonigan getting out of the way for the fight for P2, as Kenny Rodriguez is falling off of these guys.
And apparently, Stacey's a big Georgia Bulldogs fan, so go Dogs for Stacey out there.
Somebody in chat say that?
Yeah, Jonathan Platt. He's been helping us out with a bit of info in the chat there, so it's good to see a few guys interacting with the broadcasting there.
As they have, Stacy has James Pooh just going around them right there. Let's go back to this fight for a second between Steffi and Fisher.
Yeah, Rodriguez has just dropped off these guys a little bit that previous lap. Might have had a little bit of a moment, or just not a favourable outcome with some of the traffic, perhaps.
Yeah, traffic is what makes this race very, very interesting. Is a big slide from Steffi.
It wasn't that much slower. Although Rodriguez did a 54 last lap. These guys did 53.6, 53.8. So he dropped about a second on that last lap.
Yeah, it was a personal best by Jay Steffi last lap with that 153.68.
Marcioni must be having some kind of trouble. He's showing an off track there for a little bit.
Let's see what's happened to Mr. Macchione right there. Caught one of the curbs. Trying to hang it around the outside recovery, and big slide.
So that's the same spot where we saw Steffi lose the rear of his car earlier.
John's managed to keep it pointed forward.
Yeah, those bumps just at the apex there unsettle these Delaras quite a lot.
Oh, another Wolfpack car.
Houston having an issue at the same place, I believe.
Nah, he had a problem in turn 1. It was in the same sector. But see, that car is leaning as much as it can, trying to save it. Nothing he could do.
Yeah, a bit of a slow motion spin there. Once it gets
Johnson
sort
the
of past that. Ooh. Yeah, probably just a scheduled stop. Didn't look like he picked up any damage with that incident.
Yeah, we are near halfway in the race. 43 minutes down of this 90-minute race here at Sebring in the race for the kids. A very special charity event donating to Toys for Tots. A charity benefiting underprivileged kids by donating toys to them. Usually you would buy a toy off the shelf and volunteers would go around. Some of them dressed up as Santa, and some of them as Elf. I was an elf, because I was 9 when I did it. And they would go around and give out toys. Very fun charity. Very awesome charity, I must say.
So yeah, be sure to hit the link in the video description if you want to go through and donate for a very worthy cause. And you also have the possibility to win the Apex button box.
Yeah, all $5 donations are a entry into the Apex button box raffle, which the winner will be announced at the very end of this race from one of our from I believe the race organizer, who's going to hop in here and give us a little bit of a interview. And it looks like Rodriguez has caught up to Fisher now.
So just about to tick over the halfway mark, and yeah, it's good to see we've still got a good race happening out there, despite some issues at the start. Got quite a few cars still on the same lap, battling for position here, and Rodriguez just trying to close up on Fisher. He's a little bit quicker, just a very slight bit fast lap. So getting back into a rhythm after that lap just 5 minutes or so ago, where he lost the rhythm for a bit.
Also, correction from the last GTR simulator that these guys did, it wasn't for mental health awareness, it was for breast cancer awareness. And that was the GTEs around Road America, which was a 2-hour-long endurance race It was a very, very fun race, I must say.
So, yeah, we've been lucky enough here at Apex to help a few of these organisations to run some charity events. Sim races for mental health, obviously, recently. So that's probably where the confusion around which event it was came from. And Houston, again, with some issues. Doesn't look like that livery's provided too much luck for him so far.
If you get to see these cars when they're stopped, I believe they have a lot of photos on their social media of these cars. The entire side of this car is just riddled with presents for Toys for Tots right there, and they're driving to make a delivery for them. And you can see the F3 car, as well as that was Mazurski.
Yeah, that's at that exit of Le Mans is proving quite difficult for some of these guys.
I believe Santa's writing the list of corner names that he doesn't like right now. That's definitely on there.
Well, it'd be if it was a list of the guys who have had trouble during this race, most of them would be on there.
I think everybody's
already at this
names,
point.
including our names, would be on there.
So he decides to bring it down the pit lane. That's Majewski, and we happy to get that car repaired and get back out on track.
Ooh, Rodriguez and Fisher are getting very close together as they're coming up on the back of Stacy. Skippy leader, but here comes Rodriguez and on Fisher coming up to Le Mans right now. Rodriguez has got to lock in this corner, and he's going to have a great run down that straight. See Fisher.
It'll be fun to ride on board down through Sunset and really see the bumps and the guys taking the tight line to try and avoid the harsher ones on the outside.
Yeah, Fisher went down the inside, tried to break that toe. Rodriguez bumping up and down, shaking it. He's moving up and down, side to side like a roller coaster here at Sebring. And yes, I had to get that quote in.
I think he went in a little bit deeper than he wanted to there, and a bit wide on the entry, and he got onto some of those harsher bumps that just on the outside there.
If you've actually driven this circuit in real life, it's about 3 times as worse. Not in a road car, I must say. In a race suspension car, the car is just being rigid and thrown all over the place, and it's a workout. Come out with bruises on your body and everything. And also, with this fight, we have Jeff having a little bit of fight for the battle for 5th. And Newell took a very interesting line with the Skippy around the outside as Jeff's caught up to him. And he's got the Grinch on his front nose.
You know, the Grinch is helping him out. He's a couple of tenths faster on the previous lap than Newell, so he's been closing that gap in.
Oh, a little bit of slide right there.
Steer there.
Yeah, it looks like he could have sent one up the inside. It would have been a mean one overtake, but it would have fit the car so perfectly. Also got a slow... Ooh, 2 Skippy side by side. That's Stacy, and oh my goodness, coming across the front wing, Newell. He did get contact. Yeah, he did get contact right there, and here comes Corolla.
Some aggressive passing from these F3 guys. So not really being too poor little Skippies out there. The onboard from that Skippy will be interesting to see.
That was Luis de la Luz. That's happened.
But
too.
Corolla all over Newell here.
I'm not gonna leave this fight. I don't think it caused any big incident for Luis right there. So you have a... Oh, you hear that? Just the tires begging for grip and just release right there.
Wow, yeah, using all the track on the exit there was. See Corolla just taking a slightly different line on the entry, which is actually a good idea when you're quite close behind, just to try and keep some air on that front wing.
Yeah, the wash from off the back of these cars. Thank you for Hans Bo for following Apex Racing TV over on Twitch. They're currently not seeing this race over on Twitch. You're currently seeing the American GT series over there. As Grill switching to the outside as Newell's on the inside. Just still trying to find everything. I know I'm using a lot of this on board right now. Half of it's for that Grinch livery.
It's a good look at Crollo struggling with the understeer when he gets close, particularly at that hairpin. He's been having that same issue.
That suspension work right there. He's got a good run.
Yeah, he's got a good run. He knew I had a bit of an issue on the exit there, around the outside.
What a move by Jeff Carollo. 4P5. Now he's going to have to defend from Newell down that straight, but he's already 8/10 ahead, and I think Newell had a very bad entry into that corner.
So, yeah, we'll see how this plays out if Newell's able to apply some pressure. But Corolla did look like he was a bit quicker. Now he's got clean air. He'll be pretty keen to try and extend that gap.
Yeah, he is. He's just got to be more, doesn't want to over push the car. Now he has downforce. So we're going to watch that replay once more from the roll bar. He swung it around the outside of Daniel. Coming up to this kink too, that's a very scary place to make that overtake. What a move he did make. Looks like we have a little bit of a gaggle of cars back here. James Miller and Flanagan in a bit of a fight for P8.
Yeah, Flanagan, remember, he was quite quick earlier on and fight. Oh, that was a bit of a wiggle coming in the entry of Sunset there, and it's cost him a few tenths. Flanagan closing up. Yeah, Flanagan was quite quick early in the race, but had a few issues. Dropped a bit further back. He's trying to make his way forward again.
See the bumps are shaking the camera all over the place. As they said, Coda's bumpy over in F1. No, they haven't seen real bumps till they come to Sebring. Coming up on Stacy. Doing it again. Up in P12, leading the Skip Barber class. Easy pass for them.
Yeah, you can see with the 35-40 second odd difference in the times there. The Skippy's 4 laps down on the F3s now. Obviously to be expected.
They're actually not 4 laps down. They're about 7. Okay, 6 for Stacy. To these guys, they're 4 laps down.
That was the interval from Canyon that we were seeing there on the treat. But Stacey's been doing a good job out there and has built up I think it's a 11 to 12 second lead for the Skippy class over Lowendick. And Houston's about a further minute back from Ted.
Yeah, John Macchioni's in the F3 and he's been having a hard time. Same with Luis Del Luz, who I believe is sitting in the pit lane, and he's been caught up in a lot of issues. And I believe most of them have been from very aggressive F3 cars.
So it looks like we've lost Mascioni, Glace, and Post at this point. in the F3 class. And Luke.
That's Brandon Majeski. Down on the inside of turn 1. I believe he's lost it right there. Let's take a look at what's happened to Brandon. I believe this was all on his own. Oh, I see
one of those bumps right in the mid corner. He was leaning on it right in the
the deadly corner.
Right at that point where you're putting all the energy into the right hand side tires, and the rear just bumped up off the ground a little bit, and around it went. Unfortunately, kept it off the barrier on the inside. But now he's got
the leader
car just behind. It's Andrew Karen coming around to put him another lap down. Karen using a bit of the curb there. He's getting up and riding that curb.
Urban dirt a little bit. But Andrew just making it. He's just got to dispatch these cars as quickly as he can. He's not really in that much hurry. He's got a 5.4 second gap. He's going to take a... no! We got a... He's trying to take it around the outside, and he's stuck on the inside. And where's Steffi? Steffi's right there. Steffi has retaken the lead, and I believe Karen has fallen all the way back down to P3. And Rodriguez is on his tail as well and closing fast. Drama here with just 33 minutes to go here at Sebring.
Perhaps a little bit of commentator's curse there. We're just sort of talking about Karen using a little bit of the curbs, and you just ran a bit wide.
Not really being in a hurry and in control.
And then, the car just got straight up onto that curb and kind of straddled it.
Yeah,
and then it just bottoms out when that happens, and you don't really have much control over it once it gets to that point.
Yeah,
always close on that exit there too. He's really pushing to try and get his positions back, but it's made the race very interesting for the closing half hour or so. We're just about to tick over an hour completed very soon.
Yeah, I'll raise up my hand and say that was my bad. That commentator's curse, but it really closed up the leading F3 field. All top 4 cars within 2 seconds of the leader.
So the guys put on a good show. Hopefully everyone that's tuned in has been enjoying it. The Karen trying to get settled down to get back into a rhythm. Work on Fisher here. Doesn't want to see Steffi get too far away, because Steffi, and is that Rodriguez? Yeah, in the background there.
Yeah, I saw Rodriguez get off the track, and I think he's parked up the car as well. Let's take a replay, see what's happened to Kenny. Up. Oh no, he gets into the dirt. Big ol' slide and lock up, but he keeps it on the track. Great save by Kenny right there. Back up to the bow for a second. Karen and Fisher going down the front straight.
So just earlier we saw Karen was coming up on Majewski right when all that craziness happened to put him a lap down, and so they're just coming up onto him again now. So it'll be interesting to see how.
Karen staying in that draft of Fisher, looking to that outside line now. They're side by side. Heading into treacherous turn 5, into the braking zone, still side by side. Karen trying to swing it around the outside. He does get it. Can Fisher hold him off? Yes, he does through the kink. As Fisher and Karen still side by side. This is great racing for the battle for P2 here in the race for the kids. As, a nice block move by Fisher.
Yeah, Fisher's doing everything right to place the car to defend the position here at the moment. So great racing, and then we've got that traffic. So Majewski's trying to do the right thing here, but he's got a skip there as well to contend with.
Yeah, see Fisher taking that inside line. Karen taking it as well, trying to get anything he can. He's fallen down to his second now. As that's Steffi ahead. That was Fisher behind Steffi. As this is now the battle for the lead.
I think Steffi had a poor exit out of Le Mans, allowed these guys to close up a little bit there. The lead had gone out to close to 2 seconds, and you can see now it's back down under a second. All the podium positions are in one shot there, and you can see Rodriguez just coming onto the straight in the background there as well. So still the top 4 cars separated by about 8 seconds.
Yeah, top 4 separated by a big lead, but top 3 positions all separated by 1.1 seconds here. We're all in the same second now as Karen is closing in on Fisher. He now has that inside line. He's looking for it right there, and he's got the position on the straight. I think he's going to absolutely lunge for it right here. Yes, he is. Great move for P2. Now it's for P1 with Jay Steffi.
Interesting to see if Fisher can apply the pressure and make a move back. He's gets a good exit out of Le Mans. He's going to be close enough to get the slipstream down the Ullman. He's fallen about half a second behind there at the moment, so he's still within range. As if Karen starts fighting with Steffi and Steffi defends hard, that's going to bring Fisher right back into it as well. So definitely won't be wanting to give up on on this just yet. Oh, Karen's running a little wide there.
Big slide by Karen.
Yeah, he's got the nose pointing in, like really pointy on the entry, which is making the rear slide out a little bit. It's getting that sort of corner entry oversteer. So it's an interesting difference in the driving styles between these guys.
Car setups definitely. Who's going to be the best on the bumps? As Karen taking that inside line, a big old slide off the exit, and they're having a drag race here in Florida, side by side. Steffi and Karen. Karen on the outside, Steffi up onto the inside. And Karen's going to swing it around the outside, get it onto the curb just a little bit, and take P1. And now look at Fisher in the back. Fisher on the inside of Steffi, and Fisher's going to take P2.
Yeah, that was well read by Fisher there. Just saw that Karen was kind of opening the door, and he decided to just follow straight through there. Nice move up the inside as well. Things settling down a little bit between these three. Still quite close, but yeah, Karen's been able to recover from that earlier error. Probably going to see some pit stops. Yeah, we just had Newell come into the lane, so probably see these guys come down the lane again shortly for their final stop.
Yeah, last lap they came in was on lap 19, and now they're on lap 33 right now in this 1 hour and a half long race, as we just passed the hour mark for the race for the kids. And these guys are definitely putting on a good show for the kids and raising some good money for the kids as well. If you want to also raise some money and donate to the charity that we are donating to, which is the Toys for Tots charity, you can click on that link in the description, and that will also enter you into, with a donation of $5 or more, it will also enter you into a raffle for the Apex Button Box giveaway at the end of this broadcast.
And Rodriguez comes into the lane from fourth in the background there, so I expect to see some of these guys come in. They probably don't need to come in for fuel just yet, but it's probably not a bad idea to come in and get fresh rubber now and just top up the fuel, and then just sort of get into that rhythm through to the end of the race. Just over about 24 minutes left at the moment.
Yeah, the leaders are starting to pull away from each other right now. And the race is kind of just stayed a little bit still. We have 14 cars left on track. Few retirements. Macchione, Luis, Glaze, Post, and Luke are all out. And yeah, very crazy. But I believe the lead for the Skippies is up to grab right now, as Stacy Dunnigan is missing the entire front nose cone of their car, but they are closing in on Ted Ludwig.
Yeah, not sure what's happened there. Stacy had the lead of the Skippy class until quite recently.
Yeah, they're staying out. Let's see if I can find any replay of Stacy's issue.
Yeah, it's definitely a modified Skippy at the moment there. So these the Skippy's the first car to have the newer damage model on. So all kinds of things can happen to those cars now.
Oh, what a slide by Stacy. And another big ol' slide, and it's sideways. This is where it's at? Yes, it is. Oh, that's unfortunate for Stacy right there. And Stacy's got an F3 car up onto the inside as well.
The Houston's closed up on these guys as well. He was a minute back earlier, and he's now
18 seconds.
It's around 18 seconds or so.
Yeah, they're also caught up in traffic right now.
Those three guys have all been down the lane twice, so there's no difference in pit strategy between them, or at least the amount of times they've been down the lane. So yeah, he's gained quite a lot of time.
Yeah, Andrew last went into the pit lane on lap 20, on lap 15, and these guys went into the pits on lap 23, and it's currently lap 26 for them right now. So they're just now getting their tires warmed up and everything. It's very insane seeing how Stacy, even without a front nose cone, is still being able to close in on Lundwick right now. And
here we go. We've got Flanagan, Fisher, and Steffi all in the lane. So yeah, kind of hitting that point where these guys need to come in and get their car prepared for the final 20 minutes.
I think we're going to have a race off pit road right now between these two.
Yeah, we've got a...
Fisher...
around sunset.
I think Fisher missed his box just by a little bit. I saw him reversing. Or that was Steffi. Right now, because Fisher is just out of the pit lane. As well as Steffi's just following him.
Yeah, come out into clean air there. So a little bit of traffic ahead. That's Lowendick, currently the class leader in the Skippies, but Stacy definitely wants to have something to say about that, getting right up just a couple car lengths behind. And Rodriguez able to make his way past safely there. So through that whole process so far, Karen has stretched out to 9 seconds out in front. But we've got Fisher and Steffi reasonably close for fight for P2. But yeah, it's good to see we've got a pretty close battle for the the Skippy class here. Another F3 car closing in quickly behind.
It's in a corner as well. So he's going to be very impatient. He's coming around the bend. As Lonedick and Dunnigan. Or Dugan. The big old Georgia Bulldogs fan. Is charging down for the lead. They're so close with each other. Have any pressure behind him. Stacy, round the outside, try to emulate Karen. Yes, they do get it, but I think Ludwig has got them around the outside. No, they don't.
Yeah, Lonedick was using all the curb there earlier. All 4 wheels up over that. The Skippy can use a little bit more curb than the F3. Stacy makes that move, but trying to break the toe here, going super defensive, right up against the wall.
And now Stacy went down to the inside, went back out to the outside, went down to the inside. That maybe looked under by blocking and weaving on the straight. As they're going side by side, Ted all the way in the bumps. See it upsetting his car as much as he can. Even with that fresh aero that he has, he's still unable to get around Stacy.
It looks like Stacy's car was able to stick with Lonedick's car in having the toe, and then jumps out from the toe, takes the
look at this. Ludwig, though, he had that outside line, and Dunnigan, though, was at the inside line, but the inside line's actually slower here at Sebring, but they were able to hold it off into turn 2 to keep that P1.
And we just had a change of position for 5th place. Miller getting a move done on Newell in the F3s while we're watching this battle as well. So still some moves being made in the F3s. Oh, this is a great battle between these two. Respectful. They give him just enough room. It will be interesting if they still have this side by side with an F3 car coming up on them. We can see there's someone.
That's Kenny Rodriguez behind him.
So we'll see if they can sort this out. Still, they're using a lot of the track. Fortunately, Rodriguez just able to swing it around the outside there.
As Dunnigan and Ludwig are still having this massive battle with about 15 minutes remaining here in Sebring between these two. Got ourselves a nice little battle for the lead here in Skippies for the GTR race for the kids.
And while we've been watching this, Andrew Hewson, he came down the lane again for a 3rd time, so he needed to make another stop to get his car to the end, so that he's dropped back around to that 50-second mark off these lead duo.
Now, Ted, he got the inside line this time, and he got the switchback easily on the straight with the speed.
Oh,
very slide though.
Understeer. To enable Stacy to close back up on the exit and the run down the front stretch here. So, yeah, it's interesting with these cars because Stacy's car's obviously got that bit of damage at the front.
Stacy up the inside! What a move!
Done. Oh,
and
look out, we've got a pair of F3 cars, angry F3 cars from the looks of it too.
Yeah, Stacy holding it around the outside. There's space up onto the inside. Better not hit them. Very tight racing between these two classes. And they're having a big old battle right there. Is that Brandon? No, it's not.
Yeah, I think that's Miller and Newell, is it?
Yes, it
F3
is.
Battle. Yeah, so Miller took that position away a couple laps ago while we're watching that lead Skippy battle, and it looks like they've just continued to scrap it out since. Newell not letting Miller get away. So yeah, great to see. We've got several battles happening. We've got about 14 minutes left in this race. for these guys to sort this out, and lots of aggressive driving. So yeah, the guys putting on a great show.
You know, it's got to fight for 7th in class with Brandon Wojcicki and David Flanagan.
Yeah, and they're going to be coming up on the skippies here as well.
Now let's stay on board with these guys. So there's Andrew Houston right there. Very late on the brakes for him.
Yeah, again, that's when Juice at the hairpin, struggles to hit that apex. It's just always got that sort of the front end sliding across the track with the understeer a little bit there.
See where these 2 skippies are at. Way off in the distance there. Stacy sending it all the way into the inside of the track, almost running into the DRS side right there. And here comes Lone Dick. Lone Dick going off into the grass, using every bit of track and then some.
So yeah, Stacy's car is quick enough to stick with Ted.
Ted's got a good run though.
Toe. And then it gets to the front, that front aero damage. When he's doesn't have the toe, Ted's able to usually get the move back on the straightaway. So 2 very different handling cars at the moment, but it's providing great racing.
Yeah, one of them has a weight advantage, I must say. Oh my goodness!
The middle. that was Karen, our leader.
I think, yeah, it was the leader. It was Karen. Oh my goodness! Sending it up the inside, literally and figuratively, and just through the middle, splitting the field. I don't even think both the skippies realize what just happened. Oh, no moves gonna be made from Ted right here. They have the F3 cars all over him, but Stacey had to go wide, and here comes Ted taking advantage, and Ted gets to the back end of Steffi. No, not Steffi, Stacy.
Oh, a little wheel-to-wheel contact there. Fortunately, the suspension didn't get tangled up. Otherwise, that could have been almost race ending for our 2 class leaders there.
Yeah. No damage model on these cars for this race, since this is a multi-class race.
Yes, that would explain it. You can see the F3s making their way through.
Must be a weird feeling seeing that happen. As Stacy goes wide off the grass. We're coming into Le Mans right now. Both of them taking very different lines, entering this complex onto the straight. Stacy and Lodwick. Stacy going off the track, riding into the grass. Lone Dick has a big old run. Stacy going on to the inside. And Ted is going to hold him down there as we enter the final 10 minutes of this race.
I've seen this play out a few times, and be interesting to see. Stacy.
Big slide, big slide, big slide. Stacy's around.
Wow, Ted goes super wide there in avoidance. That was good heads-up driving from him as well. Unfortunately, Stacy's just dropped back as a result of that, but kept it off the wall, able to continue. Houston's about 40-odd seconds back, so not in any danger of losing that P2.
Unless another giant thing happens again.
But yeah, it's robbed us of that battle there a little bit, unfortunately. But it was great racing while it lasted. So just
well, he's going to gain a lot of time right here to be done again. Yeah, that 42 seconds dropped down to 38. Now 37. And Stacey just got to be consistent.
So,
Or else the charging driver on newly fresh tires I say, guys, Andrew, he just went into the pits on lap 28. He is now on lap 31, so those tires are now just coming up to speed and temperature.
While we're watching that exciting battle with the skippies there, unfortunately our other close battle between Miller and Newell, looks like Newell has struck some trouble there. He was right on Miller. Gone out to about 9 seconds, close to 10 seconds now. So just on just watching Steffi here. So trying to close the gap up and runs a little bit wide there. And we cut to Flanagan. So we got looks like a little bit of traffic there as well. Everyone survives that little exchange. Just under 8 minutes remaining. These guys will start to feel that tire drop off again in this third stint. Just trying to keep their cars straight, keep it on the pavement. Well done for these guys to keep these cars on track for this long with all the bumps. There's been plenty of action out there. We see Stacy actually coming down the lane there on the bottom of our timing screen there. So perhaps coming to grab some late fuel or maybe some repairs to keep that car straight. So Flanagan still working her way through, getting a little bit of a slide on into Lamar. Gets a nice tidy run onto the Almond Straight. There we are up with James Miller, who's worked his way up into P5. That tasty battle with Newell. Unfortunately, we didn't see what happened with Newell just yet, but yeah, he's been able to extend that gap even further now. It's out to 13 seconds.
This is what happens to Mr. Newell. Or I think what's happened to Mr. Newell.
Maybe.
I'm guessing it was just a very slow corner. It showed up as a crash on my screen, but I'm guessing it was just a slow corner. The guys up at front have absolutely just trounced the field. Chaotic start with 5 minutes to go, and I think these guys are just now just racing it to breathe. But
yeah, it settled down a little bit, but it took a long time for things to settle down. Oh, actually, Miller's just come into the lane.
yeah,
He might have needed a late splash of fuel to get to the end of this, so Newell is going to be quite happy to see that if he's able to stay out. And yeah, he does. He comes around. He doesn't go down into the lane. We see Newell coming down the front stretch now. He's going to take that P5 again away from Miller. It's interesting to see how that strategy has played out. Miller will be a bit disappointed about that. So we'll keep an eye on it, see if Newell's able to stay out. If he doesn't need to come down the lane. Steffi about 2.5 seconds off Fisher here. Fisher has his father watching on in chat as well. So I'm sure he's hoping he can see his son hang on to that P2. He's got a little bit of pressure from Steffi behind here. Not close enough to start looking at moves yet, but he's going to try and close that gap.
here's the gap to Fisher and Steffi, and they're just jostling with lap times right now between the two. One lap, Fisher's ahead. Next lap, Steffi's ahead. Next lap is Fisher. Next lap is Steffi. Next lap is Fisher. So these two in a battle now, but over through time. But can that 2-second gap be closed up for Steffi? Or is he just going to be happy with a P3?
So even though Majewski, Brandon, has had a few adventures during the race, he's down in P8. He's still our biggest mover, a gain of 8 positions after several of the other drivers have struck trouble. So it's a good demonstration of just keeping your head down and circulating and see what you can do. Lap time wise, his quickest was a 54.6, so he's there or thereabouts with the drivers ahead as far as lap time goes. Just unfortunately had a few little moments, but still good result to move up 8 positions.
Got a little pack of cars right here. None of these guys are battling for positions. It's just nice to see these guys driving in a pack. It's the 7th, 9th, and 12th car. 12th being the Skippy leader of Lone Dick.
Yeah, Corolla was involved in one of those great battles a little earlier on as well. Fortunately, it just hasn't quite gone his way. He's in P9, he's up 3 positions on where he started. Jeff might be a little bit disappointed with that because definitely had some good pace earlier on.
Yeah, he would definitely be upset with that. As we enter 2 minutes go here at Sebring. I believe next lap is going to be white flag for the leader.
Steffi's brought that down to about 1.5 seconds now, so he's trying to here at the end. It'd be interesting to see how this plays out. Remember, we saw Miller come down the lane just in.
Yeah, Fisher might be out. Fisher might be running low on fuel because that 2-second gap is now falling down to a straight up second.
He might be having to do some fuel saving here at the end. We'll see how that plays out. But yeah,
there's definitely there's something going on.
Having seen Miller make that late stop, it just could indicate that some of these guys are really pushing it fine on the fuel towards the end here. So you can see that it's a 54.3 from Fisher and a 53.1 or 53.2 from Steffi there. So it's over a second gained on that previous lap. Meanwhile, out in front, Andrew Karen is quite relaxed, bringing his car home with a 13-second lead over these guys. So we'll stick with these two to see how this plays out, just for now.
Saw Steffi get in under a second to Karen. It's getting a lot of time through the corners.
Almost needs the Jaws theme music here. Just chipping away at that gap down to 0.6, half a second, closing on that corner there.
Closing in every so slowly. Half a second separates them as they're coming down. About to go down through Le Mans and the long back straight. Who's going to have the best run out of these two? This is where we saw Steffi get up a lot of time last lap. Does Fisher have enough fuel?
Karen is just exiting Sunset to cross the line too, I believe.
And taking the win. He took pole. It's Andrew Karen taking the victory. And back to the battle for P2 between the 2 F3 cars. Drifting around the final corner. Fisher and Steffi having a drag race through the line. It's going to be Fisher taking P2 ahead of Jay Steffi.
So Yeah, he'll be happy with that. That was a great little battle at the end of the race there to see these guys quite close together after 90 minutes of bumpy racing around Sebring here.
Very bumpy racing indeed. There's a battle for fifth between Newell and Miller's going on.
Yeah, wow. So Miller has closed up significantly. Something's happened there because he made that stop. So Newell's definitely had some issues because he's significantly slower here at the moment. Miller all over the back of that car. So yeah, good to see another battle coming to the line. Rodriguez is.
Oh, these guys gonna have a
bit,
big old fight. Side by side, swapping positions, swapping angles. Look at that angle that Miller's got. Miller on the switchback has a position advantage heading down the straight into Sunset for the battle for P5 in the F3 class. Side by side they go. A little bit of a late entry by Newell, hoping Miller overcooks it, but Miller doesn't seem like he is going to overcook it, and he's going to take P5 on the very last lap. As ahead of him, that is Ted Lonick taking the Skippy victory and attempts to do donuts in a Skippy car.
So yeah, that was an interesting close to proceedings there with Miller taking that P5 right at the end. I think he might have had fresh rubber after that pit stop, but that's a whole pit stop basically he gained in the later stages of that race. So yeah, Newell must have had some kind of misadventure towards the end there. Oh, whoa!
These
So
guys still having
thankfully
a
we're
little
in
bit
the
of fun.
virtual. Yeah, thankfully we're in the virtual version of Sebring and not the real one, with contact between the skippies after the line there. A bit of celebratory crashing. So it's probably time to bring up the results. We can run through how these guys came through to the check flag. If our results screen will behave itself.
Nah,
Not quite yet.
it's
Might still be counting.
just being it like it always is. So we're just gonna read it like it is right now. Taking the victory is gonna be Andrew Karen, followed up by Fisher, James Steffi, Kenny Rodriguez, James D. Miller, Daniel Newell, David Flanagan, Brendan Majeweski, Jeff Carollo, Curtis Kenyon. Taking the Skippy win, it's Ted Lovendick and Stafey down again right behind him with James Pooh finishing in the F3s behind them. Andrew Hewson taking the P3 for the Skippies, followed up by John Macchione, Luis De La Luz, Von Glantz, Randy Post, and Eric Luke.
So yeah, thoroughly entertaining race the guys put on for us out there today. Just a reminder, yeah, that's racing for the charity Toys for Tots, and there's a link in the video description if you'd like to make a donation for that great cause, providing toys for underprivileged children heading into the festive season.
But first,
And
I do believe we have some interviews to go in, so let's bring in who do you want to bring in first? We got a lot of people to choose from, but let's bring in Jay Steffi. Howdy, 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 Jave. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing just fine. How are you doing? Oh wait, I've already asked that.
Oh, no. Sebring, 90 minutes direct drive. That's rough on the wrists.
Yeah, I imagine so. That was some nice battles out there. JD, how was the race from your perspective?
The first lap was kind of interesting. after that, it was a blast until I screwed up out in the lead. Um, but yeah, it was a lot of fun racing with Jeffrey and shoot, I can't remember the first driver's name. But yeah, that was a
Andrew.
riot. Andrew?
Andrew Caron.
Andrew didn't win. He's the one that crashed everybody.
Well, he's the one that won.
Did he seriously?
Yes, he did.
I think we need to protest that.
I could drag Corolla in here and we could start yelling about that if you want.
No, it's all good. He is fast, so he deserved to win.
Yeah, so we're just watching the replay of that opening lap incident from your perspective. Walk us through your mindset and how you came out in P3.
Yeah, starting in P9, I trying to be aggressive on the start, but also give lots of room. And then going into turn 2, yeah, it was pandemonium. So I was just trying to make sure that I cleared everybody. And yeah, just suck up on P2 as quick as possible and try to start racing.
Any thoughts going into this race, or are you just taking it easy and having a bit of fun?
It was a great opportunity to do a charity for Toys for Tots. Also, wanted to make sure I represented my team, SRT Esport. But yeah, I was looking forward to it for a while. Just low stress, just have fun and go out and burn some rubber.
All right, thank you. Anybody you want to give a shout out before we let you go?
Jeff Garello for putting the race together. My team, SRT Esport. Ken Rodriguez, he was in the race as well, one of the founders, and Jared Keene, and yeah, great bunch of guys. And thank you guys for televising the race.
All right, thank you. You have a great day, and congrats on P3. We're now going to bring it over to the P1 winner, also known in Jay's translation, the guy who took everyone out and then won the race. Let's bring it over to Mr. Andrew Caron. Howdy, Andrew. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm sorry.
It's all good.
Good, and you?
We're doing just fine. We had a very entertaining race, especially after that first lap, and then the show you put on by overtaking everybody throughout the field. How's that? What happened?
Well, I don't do F3 too often, and I forgot about the cold tires, so I had my foot on the gas, and I got a spin on the first turn, and I'm sorry to everyone that I crashed on this.
Yeah, he certainly gave us a big old show and a giant heart and mouth and just craziness moment at the start of this race. But something to remember the race by, but also just a massive feat to just be dropped down all the way down the field and then brought back all the way up the field to take the eventual win. How's it feeling moving around a bunch of F3 cars and overtaking while there were Skippies around?
It was pretty scary. I tried to do it as safely as possible, just because it's a fun race, and I wanted everyone to have fun. And it was really scary. You know, the F3 is really faster than the Skippy, so you really gotta take time to pass, so you don't ruin their race.
Yeah, there was one moment there towards the end of the race, Andrew, where I think you just very narrowly split two skippies straight down. That was the guys that were fighting for the lead of that class at the time would have looked quite hairy from your onboard, I imagine.
Yeah, I think I shouldn't have done that. I just saw the space and went for it, but yeah, it was pretty scary, and I think they got scared too.
Yeah, it was certainly a scary moment between us. Before we let you go, anyone you want to thank before you head off?
Oh yeah, I would like to thank OneSim for organizing this event. It was really fun. Jeff, which is a friend of mine since I was an RSR when he was in it. And yeah, everyone that participated in the race, it was really fun to race with them.
All right, thank you, Andrew. Congrats on the victory, and you have a very good day.
Thank you.
All right, next up, we're gonna bring in Jeff Carollo, and who is the organizer of this race, and I think he's gonna have a little bit of a message for us. Howdy, 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 Jeff, or Mr. Grinch. How are you?
Yeah, the Grinch livery.
Oh,
Pretty good. How about yourself?
It's a beautiful livery.
Thank you. Yeah, I threw it together last minute. There's so much to get settled. I had a busy week this week with some family stuff. My wife was in the hospital, so it was a busy week. Then trying to organize this, so I threw this together last night, literally.
Well, we spent a bit of time out on your roll bar just looking at it. From your perspective, that start of the race, you gained about 7 spots immediately. Walk us through that opening lap.
I literally came around the corner because I had a couple of my teammates behind me, and as soon as I come into turn 1, all I'm yelling is death, death, death. There's just cars over here, cars over there, and I'm just bobbing and weaving. I said, just keep on your toes. This is literally all I could say at that point.
That's a quote.
Yeah, literally.
Were you you were streaming this race, right?
Yes, I was streaming from my point of view. Just for fun. I mean, it's always key. I always have it up during any events or leagues and practice night. Big thing we do. And if you do know, Eric Luke is in here in the interview for the button box raffle.
All right, so let's bring him in here as well.
Mr. Chase Mundy.
Eric?
Yes.
All right, so you're in here. Who won the raffle? You're live on...
Oh, hello, gentlemen.
Howdy, howdy, howdy. How are you doing?
Thank everybody. I'm doing well. I wanted to thank all of the raffle participants. There was 75 total, and
wow.
$5 a pop. Was that $375?
So $375 raised.
$375, yes. For Toys to Tots off of the button box. So thank you very much to all those who did that. You guys are outstanding, and I appreciate you guys taking the time to run the broadcast as well. The random number generator with the 75 entrants, it selected number 65, and number 65 was Mr. Chase Mundy, M-U-N-D-I-E.
Awesome.
And I had my wife video record that pic, and I sent that video over to Mr. Jeff Carollo, so he has the video proof as well.
Chase Monday, M-O-N-D-Y-E?
M-U-N-D-I-E.
M-U-N-D-I-E.
Well, this is why I'm not in charge of anything around here. Well, I'm pretty sure he's going to be very happy to see that he has won the button box, and it was a very late entry for him, but congratulations to Chase on winning that button box, and thank you everybody for hopping in with us and joining, and just y'all for giving a great donation opportunity, and just people really love your stuff.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you too. Yeah, it's fun. We're gonna hold another. We're taking a break though to the holiday in Daytona 24, just to let everything settle, and we'll start discussing something else probably beginning of February, middle of February, to get another event set up. Possibly, probably do something different oval next time.
All right. Any other? Is it gonna be another crazy combination or more of a more tame race?
Don't get me wrong, this is exciting. This multi-class like this, people voted for it. I'm probably gonna do something more tame, just all cup cars or all trucks, just so it's a little more less hectic, but still fun. So it'll probably be another route to go for the next race. Something.
All right.
And then I do want to thank GTR Simulators and, of course, Apex Button Box. Everyone sponsors team, SimSport. Fantastic. Thank you, everybody.
All right. Thank you, Jeff. And thank you, Eric, for joining us in the commentary booth. Thank you, Brad, for joining me as well in the commentary booth throughout the race. I'm Austin Knight, and I hope y'all have a great night.